Hello. Great. I've been looking for...
Shine down! Drop your weapons! Now you shall perish! Inactivity serves no purpose whatsoever.
Get ready for the gliding champion of Mondstadt! Hey, there's something strange over there. A blade embraces its...
I will lead us to victory. There is no escape!
Everybody stand back! Let's light it up! Glory to the Shogun!
Inazuma shines eternal!
Ad Astra. Thank you for completing.
It's shocking how much work there is to do, even for the three of us.
And she's been handling it alone all along. The Qixing secretary clearly isn't an ordinary person. It's so frustrating.
Huh? You're...
Aren't you Ningguang's servants? How come you're here?
We are Miss Ningguang's private secretaries, not servants.
Have you seen Miss Ganyu, Traveler? It has been several days since Ganyu left for Jueyun Karst. She's the general secretary of the Liyue Qixing. We've only taken over her responsibilities until she gets back.
Even though the Qixing have made peace with the Adepti after the latter had denounced Liyue, they still want to pay their respects to the Illuminated Ones. They commissioned Ganyu as their envoy to deliver a letter to Jueyun Karst and bring the Adepti the latest news about the crisis. Still, Ganyu should have been back to her usual responsibilities by now, but she's disappeared without a trace.
Is that so? Maybe Ganyu just took a little detour. Who can blame her after working so hard?
I'm afraid it's not very likely. Ever since we met Ms. Ganyu, she's been nothing but the most conscientious person in all of Liyue. Even when it's time for her annual leave, Ms. Ganyu stays on duty at Yuehai Pavilion saying there is still so much to do. She couldn't possibly be using her mission as an excuse to slack off.
Oh, Paimon sees how it is. But she's half Adeptus. She wouldn't get in trouble, right? Why do you look so upset?
It's because of this absurd workload of hers. When we first heard the three of us would be taking over for Miss Ganyu, we thought it would simply be a matter of changing our work environment.
We couldn't have imagined that Miss Ganyu's daily workload far exceeds what the three of us are used to doing.
Speaking of Jueyun Karst, Traveler, I've heard that you can go in and out of there as you please.
Of course! We've been there lots of times!
Ah, that's good news. Could you go to Jueyun Karst and... we're saved. I remember Miss Ganyu said that she'd be visiting Cloud Retainer's abode. You might as well start looking for her there.
It's about time she came back to work. Otherwise...
No, perhaps we should go to Lady Ningguang first and bring up our overtime pay again.
So Ganyu left to visit Cloud Retainer. Doesn't she live in Mel Outso? We should hurry up. Paimon hopes we can find her there. Standing over there! That's Ganyu! We finally found her! Ganyu! Here you are!
You two. I did not expect to meet you here. Is it official or private affairs that bring you here? I shouldn't. I have left the human world. Please contact the Yuehai Pavilion regarding matters concerning the commercial port.
Huh? You don't want to be the Qixing secretary anymore? But they're all waiting for you to come back.
That's why you're here? You want me to come back? I'm afraid you came here in vain.
What? Did something happen?
The clouds fold and unfold. The tide ebbs and flows. It was meant to be. When the Adepti entrusted humans with overseeing Liyue, I knew it was only a matter of time until I had to leave. My Adepti blood makes me unwelcome in Liyue Harbor. I delivered the letter and came back to Liyue Harbor, only to discover that I had been replaced by Baiwen, Baishao, and Baishu. Perhaps that mission of mine was just a pretext to remove me. Since the Qixing gave me a chance to leave with dignity, I decided to be tactful as well. I appreciate your kindness, but there's no need for your words of comfort. After 1,000 years away, I came back to Jueyun Karst. Looking at the clouds floating among the mountains brings me peace of mind. I feel better now.
But...
Who disturbs the peace of these mountains?
Cloud Retainer? Wow.
Come here to chat about the old times with... a matter not to worry. Yes.
Oh, Cloud Retainer.
Nothing to be ashamed of. You were...
Oh, Paimon went...
When one was still taking...
Wow.
Plump she was. The day Ganyu bumped into a pill, so fearful she...
Cloud Retainer? Forget it. It's about time for my training. I will take my leave.
One's a...
And you...
Be that so, but return. One cannot help. One will tell you... Most benevolent among all Adepti are the Qilin. They drink only spring water and eat only whole grain. But perhaps the mountainous dwellings of Adepti in Jueyun Karst might be too lonely for her human side. Under moonlight did one see her last. She stood by the precipice's edge, and upon the mist-veiled mountains she gazed. Her thin figure was immersed in the vast sea of clouds. One noticed her loneliness, and sought to convince her to go back to the human world. But, just then, she said thus.
Liyue Harbor feels even lonelier than Jueyun Karst. When I look at the sea of clouds in Jueyun Karst, I merely feel the loneliness of a solitary cloud gazer. When I step into the sea of people in Liyue, I feel the loneliness of an inhuman that doesn't belong in the human world.
One did, by chance, hear this much of Ganyu's thoughts. Alone, she will find her...
Oh, retainers... Anyways...
She has sought to... She should be...
Huh. Is that so?
Adventure time! Off we go! Adventure time!
Bide your time. Off we go!
Ganyu?
Why did you come here? This trial was prepared. The training is much to her signature.
Is it?
No, I'm aware of your strength. If you're ready. Healthy body, healthy mind. you could see through the eyes of an Adeptus, you wouldn't be so surprised. We've completed the task. I agree.
Ganyu?
The training's not...
Huh? So there are more
No.
Who is it?
Conqueror of demons.
Huh. So it's Xiao. That cold-hearted loner? How come he's prepared?
I found him. He's already waiting.
Of course we are.
You're half an hour late. I see you still haven't
I'm sorry.
I don't need your
Xiao is...
You're neither instead of
I have nothing to hide.
the body and the trial
Yes. Access denied. We're way behind schedule.
The trial's begun! Paimon can feel it in the air. Even the weather's changed!
Final warning! Now you shall perish! Illusion shattered! Torn to oblivion! Teamwork is dreamwork!
All hail! Come on! Born of ice and frost. Next time.
No turning back! Shine down! Ha! Inazuma shines eternal! There is no escape! shattered! Now you shall perish!
I've completed your trial.
You don't have to report. Only you can.
Xiao always has such strong
From tomorrow.
I have to do.
Another one of those pesky visitors. I'll leave him to you, Ganyu.
Pesky visit?
Oh heavens! Blessed be Rex Lapis. I've finally come upon. Are all of you the Adepti? Great! My name's Sin Chung.
Oh, so it's a pilgrim.
I am...
Perfect! I didn't come in. What blessings can you grant?
Wow. Straight?
Dear pilgrim.
For free?
That's not what I meant. What I'm trying to say is that it would be unfair to...
Hold on. I've heard...
Your father must have experienced... A person of your age should focus on work and family.
Are you a real Adeptus? You sure you're not one of those swindlers who... Enough! Doesn't matter if you're a real Adeptus or not. You're...
Nope. Ganyu, don't let that guy ruin your mood.
I thought that coming back to... But being questioned by him... But... I'm unwelcome in Liyue Harbor.
It's true.
All right. If I'm proven right.
It's a step in the right...
I suppose you have...
That's right.
I've spent too much... Let's go for a walk and...
Happy to come with.
The smell of the sea breeze.
Ganyu?
Well, I used to be so...
Huh.
Well, it put me in a certain...
Is that? I wouldn't have thought I'd meet you here. You were always so...
Lady Ganyu, why are you...
Allow me to
That's all right. Just...
Uncle Tien is a member of the Liyue Chise.
What? The same rank as Ningguang?
Hush now. I'm a fishing in the... In most people's eyes, I'm just a forgetful and wordy old man.
Uncle Tien is too modest. He's been around for a long time. There's no one who can replace a person of such noble character.
What an honor to...
Uncle Tian, please.
My apology. Thank you for looking...
Oh, so you...
Oh,
Talking about...
yes, she works
May I
with pleasure.
She's back in character. Just like that, huh? Let's move then. To you...
I don't know.
Indeed, it has been a while. I heard that you've encountered...
Abusing his status.
Don't worry.
Ganyu's not only...
So, what...
They're obvious. Without any evidence.
I see. It's not on...
Well, is there any solution?
Naturally. I've dealt with similar issues hundreds of times. Give me a moment to consider the best approach in this scenario. All right. Let's approach it this way, then. Your enemy knows...
Huh?
If I remember...
In that case... I know what you mean, Miss Ganyu. Miss Ganyu plans to...
Exactly. Let's start with what...
Yes.
Aha!
That won't be necessary. Should we need to...
What? Ugh.
Well...
Huh. Don't let that... If you don't believe...
You know second...
Of course. I'd rather lose money myself than see that rascal make...
Well then, please...
Oh, of course. Line by... Ah, here, I found it. That exquisite... Look at the tax...
Nice.
But, Miss... He might have destroyed...
Aha, you're...
I hope so. Let's go to Fanmu Carpenter. Thank you for shining a...
Oh, please.
It's all right, Wei Xin.
That's...
You can't beat the atmosphere here.
Welcome.
Hey,
I heard...
Master Liu.
Why would the cheese...
Dongsheng bought some furniture.
Oh, it's about...
Sure enough, Miss... Could we perhaps...
but... As for old... But some trouble, since you need that...
So that's what...
I'll leave you to...
Take back the warehouse.
Wait.
Oh, Paimon sees them too. It's one of the Fatui.
They must be plot...
Maybe they're the scoundrels who invaded
Ever since we won't cause... Besides, I can already... My intuition...
Then what are we waiting for?
Frozen.
There is no escape!
Everybody
stand back! Glory to the Shogun! Hands where I can see them! Inazuma shines eternal!
I think you've had enough.
Plan? What plan?
We just taught you a lesson. If you don't, we'll be forced to use harsher methods.
I'm telling the...
If you're telling the...
Fine.
About to...
Pick berries over the...
I must admit...
It's not an... Think about it.
Judging by...
So you have nothing...
Fanmu I swear.
So it wasn't the Fatui...
I misjudged this... Our...
Exchange?
Yes, precisely.
Paimon's in!
Darn.
What's your choice then?
I'll get back to my berries.
What a bittersweet...
I made a laughing
No worries! Troublemakers were nothing more than a few hill churls. Let's show them what we got.
Yeah! Teamwork is dream! There is no escape! Shine down! Strike! Storm the front! Illusion shattered! Now you shall perish!
All clear! Quick, let's look around for the invoice. This one is an invoice from One Min Restaurant. Some dining tables and chairs. That's not it. This one is Wangsheng Funeral Parlors. Oh, so they make coffins too! This one is Second Lives! We finally found it!
I promise to help. Look. Agreed.
Isn't it? I told you that all of my... I do...
Groundless but I sincerely...
No. No. I'm an honest merchant. I would never get involved with...
Haven't I made my...
What?
He's talking with... Time for the...
Mr. Dongsheng, can you tell me... Do you admit to...
Indeed. Oh? I don't think you'll need my guidance for what comes next.
Yes. I'm your enemy, no to think.
Hitting your opponent again. That's how Uncle... I figured that... So, I decided...
I'm real...
Ganyu solved both...
Oh.
That's...
Then let...
Alright, come on, Ganyu. Just sit... Oh, come on.
If it's just a meal...
Actually, I've already booked...
Alright.
All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion. I stand before it, alone and unchanging.
Miss Ganyu, thank you for accepting my...
Sure!
That's so kind of you, Huixi. Oh?
Oh, no, I don't really need help. Could you just listen for a bit?
With pleasure.
When I was a little girl, my father used to tell me many stories about you, Miss Ganyu. Even though I have the utmost respect for my father, I always admired how gentle and reliable you are. I've only decided to join the Yuehai Pavilion staff because I've always looked up to you.
I didn't know that you think so highly of me.
However, in reality, working at the Yuehai Pavilion turned out to be an arduous task. I can't compare myself to such an outstanding secretary like you. I often doubt myself as a result.
I disagree. You're a great secretary in your own right.
Thank you. Over the years, I became a mother, too.
Huh? So Uncle Tian is a grandpa!
Influenced by my youthful ideals, she followed my footsteps and came to be a secretary at the Yuehai Pavilion, too. At first, I was worried about her. It's not an easy job, after all. To tell the truth, I'm still unsure if she's capable enough. But after all that happened this time, I've made up my mind to support her choice.
So, what made you change your mind?
The fact that she'll have you, Ms. Ganyu, as her senior colleague. You'll help her, gentle as always, and tell her your mom used to do it like that. It'd be such a beautiful moment. If it's not too much to ask for, she might still need your guidance in 20+ years, too.
Huixin, I never thought that I meant so much to you.
Just like when you showed me my father's trick. Having you as their witness makes people feel at ease.
Witness? It's true that I've witnessed thousands of years of Liyue Harbor's history. All the changes it's gone through, the stories of its people. But I've always regarded it as nothing more than the source of my loneliness. Huixin, you don't know how important those words are to me. You've made me realize that I share another connection with the people of Liyue Harbor. Apart from my contract with Rex Lapis, they rely on me, accept me, and long for me to bear witness to their stories.
Oh, of course. You're irreplaceable to us.
That's right. That's why I can't disappoint you.
Hooray! Ganyu's finally cheered up!
Even if I've really been supplanted, I wish to fight for my place. I won't let you down. I'm going to fulfill my contract and keep... Regardless, I'm afraid that it... No time to waste. Let's get back to work.
Good luck, Miss Ganyu.
Adventure time! Off we go! Adventure time! Off we go! Adventure!
Baisha, are you okay? Look who's...
You even have enough time for lead?
Not at all!
We wouldn't have survived.
Miss Ganyu,
We've been praying.
To us?
Forget all of...
All right. Please divide the I'll take care of the rest.
Of course.
Oh, finally.
Yes. I'd like to earnestly thank you, Traveler. I'd like to repay...
Sure. That's Farina, right over there.
What was meant to... I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but what can I even do? Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina. Farina.
What do you mean? Who did that uncivilized rabble think they were? Did they even... Oh, and I'm sure Nivelette and those people from the marsh just... Of course not!
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick, after her!
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They are... They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the line because they haven't been able to meet me in person, aren't they? That's against the rules. I can't let them get their way.
Farina just ran off! Quick, we have to catch up with her! This should be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the rest of them catch up to you.
What is this place?
Hurry, they're almost here!
Fine. I suppose haste is warranted. Lead the way.
Paimon's exhausted.
tired. I totally thought they had caught me. No, I mean, I merely gave in to the sheer enthusiasm they displayed. You're right.
Yep, that's a good girl.
What's happening? The ground's shaking. Is it an earthquake?
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be. It's happening again.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Novelette's made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should go a lot smoother this time.
Yeah, I hope you're right. But the people of Poisson, they've already... It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Tevat, searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried all kinds of ways, too, to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from advancing. But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled. Indeed, fate. But just now, it all as long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still not too late. Don't worry. I will keep hope alive for everyone until the very end. Well, that's enough for now. I got the impulse to play the stricken maiden, but honestly, considering my rank and station, that wasn't a good fit at all. Don't take any of what I just said seriously. How could I possibly let Fontaine fall to the whims of trivial prophecy?
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were actually being honest just now.
Cher, that's impossible. A witness. And if to...
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.
So this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not forget, however, that I am Focalor, the god of justice, the embodiment of justice itself. Does it not strike you as even the least bit absurd to bring the very concept of justice to trial?
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
You would draw your blade against a god? I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Paimon can't believe it. She just surrendered.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Wow, how utterly humiliating.
Lady Farina, what is the meaning of this?
Shh! It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raising of both hands is not always an indication of surrender.
Looking for excuses again, huh?
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. No duel shall be necessary. I will admit that I've been running away for a long time. I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. It is my duty to stand trial for my crimes. You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I, too, am exceedingly disappointed in myself. But now, it is time for the Hydro Archon to show you her courage and resolve. I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice! This time, I will protect you. Applaud and rejoice! One of the most outrageous and fantastical arcs known to the opera epiclese is now unfolding before your eyes. Mark my words, this shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine! The trial of the Hydro Archon, Focalor, will now begin!
Woohoo! Oh, now we're making history!
Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for her crimes? Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
All right, then. Who will be my opponent in this trial?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that... Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins. Just how much work did you do to force me onto this stage?
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members. waiting for the perfect opportunity to incite insurrection against you. The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. A spark was all we needed to turn smoldering anger into a flame. Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to Poisson by yourself. So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean... the ones who scoured the settlement for me were also from the Spina?
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontanian history.
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Aranias. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome?
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off. We had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the transportation of the whole house?
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready for a fight. Also that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence without a hitch. Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion duelist in all of Fontaine would accept a duel with an Archon without flinching.
Thank you.
As for you, Traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me distracted with conversation once you found me in Poisson. You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage. Oh? Is that so? Then I suppose I must have missed my final chance. It's fine. It matters not. What's done is done. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the very end.
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial. According to her, it should speed up the proceedings.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Hey, Charlotte! Oh, let Paimon see. Isn't this the exclusive interview that she did with us before? So she's already finished it, huh? Wait, then that means this document is a perfect timeline of everything that's happened ever since we stepped foot in Fontaine! So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time we want to use something from our journey as evidence for an argument! confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duels you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, all right.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, just fast forward. Of course. It is only natural.
That's true. But my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as an... Instead...
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey...
Charge accepted. Lady Farina. Lady Farina.
I plead not guilt. There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine.
Yeah.
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they... See? Even the orature, if you will.
An argument?
Well, and if I...
First of all, you...
Who gave you that?
A curse, but in light of this...
Neverlet sensed it too, huh?
Lady Farina... Well...
Well, don't. Besides, for centuries, one need only to turn their eyes towards the
You tried to reference...
Didn't I make myself clear at the time?
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder, while the court, you will prove your... That was no
So, you neither knew why Child was declared, instead of having...
The real Hydro Archon. It is true that I did not know what, but the Oratries handed out that You can't...
She's still throwing out all kinds of
If that poses a...
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or...
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the fate. Thus did I...
Isn't that...
Yeah, no matter...
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's...
Hey, come now, everyone! I'm still the... Please?
If what the prosec...
Did she deceive...
Enough! That's enough! Tell me then. If you have.
Wow. That doesn't sound right. It has been
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you...
Miss Navia.
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson. So, if we are to believe... But, if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind... I do hope you'll act prudently, and shoot Navia from the...
If Lady
Lady Farina.
Well, of course he had to...
She's just...
What's going on?
Due to the inherent...
Hey! I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! My hand is still here! Will you believe...
Miss Siegewing?
Siege, don't be nervous. That should be...
Please announce...
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was she was
Thank you, Miss Siegewing. Lady Farina...
Oh, wait. What?
Well, however, after extensive discussion, we don't want...
Yeah, so out of it, it's a great thing.
I can't believe... Listen to me, everyone. Think about it. Also... Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your...
I don't think anything...
With all the things that have been said, Paimon does...
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway me to just too stacked against her now.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is... guilty. We shall now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Farina is...
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
No. The Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus. The Hydro Archon, guilty, to be punished via the death sentence.
The death sentence?
That's actually one of the available sentences? I've always thought that it was just a myth.
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court, and it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice? What an unexpected twist.
Farina's been sentenced to death by the Oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness of things so she'd tell us the truth. How did things escalate this quickly?
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentences, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Yeah! Even Vacher wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial disappearances case.
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was also to prove that Farina has never been the Hydro Archon in the first place. But now, the Oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon.
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still going?
Fremine! You finally made it. I assume this means you've completed your mission?
Mm-hmm. Any mission Father assigns to me will always be top priority.
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the knave privately arranged for Fremine to try and find the missing slate.
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous stretches of water. But has the trial already concluded? Then doesn't that mean I've come too late? Oh no. Father will be disappointed in me.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review the record left on the slate. Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates, and would like you to come here and confirm their contents.
Huh? So what do you see? What is it?
I believe I've now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has to do with Fontaine's lost history.
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just so when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kinda talking about?
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of these stone slates. However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the other 3 stone slates. Paimon will do her best to help you remember. The first stone slate, does that mean that the second stone this must be the point. The third slate should... Well, the fourth slate is... We didn't believe that... That doesn't sound... That doesn't sound...
The prophecy...
quite... That doesn't sound...
Perhaps what it... It's not as simple... We know from...
They'll dissolve into the primordial... The Hydro Archon... Navia fell into the water. The eruption of the primordial... The stone slate's content... now, so that's how you can make sense of it. But then it feels like we're going to have to share some truly shocking revelations.
Let's hear them.
Incredible.
Weird. All Fontanians were originally created. The evidence for... Oh, and
Indeed.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably angered Celestia by creating humans without prior permission. That could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty. It's to account for that ancient sin.
The Hydro Archon...
And yet, after many hundreds of years...
Yeah! So wouldn't it be trying to show the... In the end, did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. However, while you were able to decode all the... When we were at the... Now that the slate collection is complete... I believe I should share this truth not only with you. Your hypothesis. In the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind. However, not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power of this planet's primordial sea. She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanids' blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontanians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reverted to their original forms as Oceanids. Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came into being.
So we were all Oceanids before we turned into human beings?
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never heard a single thing. Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death. After all, her only sin was creating us.
This really might be too much information for your regular Fontanian, but it does answer a lot of our questions.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the third and fourth stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' A key point of the visual on the third slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water are humans rather than Oceanids. They have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not water from the primordial sea. The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice. Instead of being the literal element, the water in the scene symbolizes judgment and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that of many others who intended to hold a trial to determine her fate. Therefore, the meaning of the third slate is that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice. Yes, it refers to our present situation.
I think I'm following now. So, what you're saying is, even though we decided to put on this trial to avoid fulfilling the prophecy, in truth, everything we've done has happened exactly as the prophecy foretold. Now, it seems, we're the ones making sure it comes true.
What should we do?
Huh. No matter what, the prophecy will be fulfilled. Is this what it feels like to be a prisoner of fate?
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the fourth slate will also be fulfilled soon?
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fallacy in your deductions. About the fourth slate, you probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meripede served as the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass, yes? However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could in fact only be a small warning of something far worse to come. As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before. This eruption was just a small...
It was both...
If we're talking about it...
the truth.
It's way too close! How did that thing just burst into the Opera House? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Tevat. It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the while. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main cause for the rising sea levels. And once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the sea, its next step will be...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Oceanids, she filled their blood vessels with primordial seawater.
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontanians nigh impossible to resist. Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of food. Food in the form of Fontanians.
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case, won't it come back to target the people again once it's managed to recover its strength?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, the whale would have likely come onto land far sooner. From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to help us out like this. Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy, all we need to do to stop the prophecy would be to find a way to beat it up, right?
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much, even if the entire...
We've already done... We've come...
Indeed.
I'll fight it to the end.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as... Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall? Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do is to play your part.
happening with the aura trees?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina! No, I still need answers.
You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Farina. Who are you?
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor. You know, the god.
Focalor? Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too, if I was to stand any chance of deceiving the heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro Archon Egeria for the uninitiated. It hardly gets more disastrous than a preordained national catastrophe, now does it? She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass. And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I finally realized there was only one possible solution to this confounding conundrum. I had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least, while saving everyone at the same time. I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria chose me as her successor. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, and not to mention the original sin of creating a new race of humans, I dare say she left me quite a colossal mess to clean up. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand?
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever known. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Farina. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable as she wished. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the heavenly principles. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra Archon alone, weeping on her throne. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Farina to be an actress, to play the part of the Hydro Archon in the prophecy. Under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the prophecy, all to create a deceitful appearance of that prophecy coming to pass. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the—
But Farina, even though she is—
It has indeed. It's been and all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely.
Benny's Adventure Team, assemble! No one's joined me on an adventure in ages. Come on, let's go! Benny's Adventure Team, assemble! Or not. Good things come to those who don't wait around. That's what they say anyway. Knowing my luck, the opposite is probably true for me.
Oh? Who permitted you to come onto— All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to— I am— Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough. Justice will—
Torn to oblivion!
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Teamwork is dreamwork! Strike! There is no escape! Inazuma shines eternal!
Farina. Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid.
Wait a moment. You're... Mirror me? How can... Mirror me?
The prophecy.
What prophecy? The people...
Oh.
What? But...
I will tell you.
But if there were...
I suppose.
Huh?
Don't worry.
Play at...
That's right. If you can...
But...
Don't worry. Being a human, remember.
So...
To a but...
A trial. The maid... What should I say? I'm sure you've all heard. In truth, as the god Focalor. Once again, this... I thought...
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity...
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What?
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might...
Wait, what's... Right. Calm down, Farina. Assertive. Now, I was wondering if some... you may Now then!
Ah, so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were in...
Personality? It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith. We have heard it said that this nation... No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want. No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want. No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want. No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want. The scales may law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our... No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they... There is, so long as I...
Yes! Oh, yeah!
Lady Farina, here.
Besides,
That's true,
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now to...
Lady Farina.
No need. All right.
He's...
Lady Farina.
I see. It's as I thought that all manner... Really?
I'm...
The day is fun, but it's good. Maybe this is fun.
Lady Farina, here are the new
They'll...
Lady Farina.
Indeed,
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant hydrological...
Understood. I feel...
Lady Farina, I've heard that the first... Are you crying?
This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god. So hundreds I never met. I want to dive. All I can do is keep heart.
Farina, you don't... Although I don't know...
Share. That's impossible.
But even if you're... Just share it with...
A witness. And if to... He's right. But if things... No, Farina. You shouldn't... But what if... Farina... Is it so... If you let them think about it... Long and hard... No. All you need to do, dear spectator, is...
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself. She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed to the most tragic fate. It seems that trusting humanity was the right decision after all.
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half the truth, is it not? How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine? That is the most important thing.
Ah, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine, yes?
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber. It now seems...
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so. Alas, you're under... In truth, it is no Oh, my work. But really, the vast majority had to be, accumulate.
It was all...
Indeed. This power accrued over 5 centuries, but...
So the Oratrice... The destruction of that divine throne...
Returning what... In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Arc... No, what? The authority...
All you've done...
I've never quite... Hydro Dragon. I must say, had it been within my rights, Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea. And speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice... So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was... Then, leaving matters of proceed... In other... Defying... At this... Iudex nerv...
So when I was... At last. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living along... things being as they are. Surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervalette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
I, Iudex Nuvelet, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
Was that bright light?
It's time to... I have gained we should seize the opportunity to Traveler. Now that the root of the come with me, Traveler. The hour of execution. Done my best. See from the way. Considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. To share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening
together. Illusion shattered!
I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility. The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. It will present itself. You my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within.
Torn to oblivion!
Everybody stand!
Strike!
Stop right there! Justice will prevail!
Inazuma shines eternal!
The authority of the ancient dragons. Witness the might of the primordial
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but... oh well. It was just supposed to be a short... well, actually, I had a...
That power...
It's just that
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. So you may speak to me as equal. I have to... that kind of... all in all... the point...
well, so what sort of person?
Oh, right. His name is Sir Tologi.
I am...
Huh. So Master isn't sufficiently famous. How should I describe...
the foul?
Still nothing.
Ooh, that one!
Oh, but I suppose you...
Wait!
Actually, that they all devour such roiling as such. In other words...
What?
Not to worry.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Hey! Help! Over here!
All hands, initiate emergency rescue! Hurry!
Hey, lend a hand!
Look! The water's receding!
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong! The prophecy was wrong!
Are you right?
Yeah.
We're saved.
The prophecy was wrong.
as the people in the report.
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The value for these big scoops lies Edwin's assistant, Jurier,
Hi, Red
and that's exactly. Oh, this time.
Adventure time!
Oh, it's you.
Hey, Prince!
I'm here to update my... let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snej. Our residents are...
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. I especially like that article you wrote last... But if you don't mind...
I get where you're coming from.
That would be fine.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be another hour before the workers are able to go over there.
Huh? You're here too, Clorian?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat. All right. She really came here to help me out.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision-makers. And, well, I do already happen to be connected to Mr. Callis.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the duel, about what it was like facing down a god. There's lots of exciting material there, I bet.
Forget it. I'm sure you can find a better theme than that, Miss Charlotte.
I see you're the same as always. Couldn't you do me a favor, for Navia's sake?
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take a few more photos of me. Or of the Traveler. It's better than wasting time persuading Chlorand, at any rate.
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let him off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be in the photo, gather up. And smile.
How did it go? Was it a good shot? Did Paimon look cute in it?
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots. All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the also not to...
Wow.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at...
Whoa,
That's a...
In truth, I told him...
You're right.
Stay safe now. And tell...
guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgia.
Looks like you've been missing us.
Duke!
Of course.
It's an honor to...
No need to thank.
Of course, of...
All right then. This way.
Hey,
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want...
Sir, please.
But it...
No,
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did the boat that... Still, if I might ask...
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently...
Really?
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or
Did you really have to use the... Well, then, two soap...
Is my hair messed up?
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try this new drink I can...
Ah, Siegeween.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Why don't you, take some pretty photos of our head nurse? Sure. Come on, Miss Siegeween. Over this way. Let's find a brighter spot.
Sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been at the fortress?
Same old, as you can see. Fontaine's undergone some changes, but this place is still more or less the same.
Other than that flying ship, it got a tad too much attention, I think.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinions toward the behind-the-scenes heroes. Am I right, Mr. Jurrier? Miss Lorvine?
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you too should have your day in the sun. Not that you would want that, which is a pity.
I'll just leave the spotlight to you two. I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh? Anyway, regarding that Harbinger, I'm not sure you remember, but his 3 young followers are still waiting for his return.
He sure did win them over, huh?
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine, and the bad being that they must face extended sentences for abetting his escape.
Oh, actually, what about you? Are things gonna change for you too?
What change can there be? The fortress will keep chugging along, and so will my duties. As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the overworld.
Hey, everyone! The photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day here.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go. Till next time, everyone.
There'll be a next time.
Maybe. Who knows? All right. Last stop, the docks. Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch.
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte, too.
Would you like a magic pocket?
What sort of gadget?
It's a wondrous
trick a friend.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact, please?
Lynette sure is working hard to help Fremine social.
He was the one who proposed doing this.
He even wants to.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out.
Lynette, could you come over?
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. Father says that.
That's out.
Oh, after Lady.
A diplomatic.
Yes, it could have been done. Furthermore.
Well, that's true.
I would agree. I suspect you'll have to.
But back to the top.
They say that he's returned to Snezhna.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins.
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father!
Well, what do you know?
Are you going to take the Gnosis back to...
That is our... Don't be too... Switching my masks is something Well, that depends on many things. As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision.
And that's a wrap for me. Huh? You...
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello?
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear magicians and our upcoming rookie talent.
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant. I shall continue my walk while the weather remains so agreeable. Farewell.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews. Thank you all. This'll be more than enough for me to write about, I'm sure.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon, you take one too.
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I was giving out magic pockets when we first met too. And what do you know? I'm doing the exact same thing right now. So many things have happened, but the pockets are still the pockets. I guess this must be life. We will all follow our own paths, and serendipity will lead you to your fated friends. All right then. We'll be handing out pockets in some other districts later, so we'll get going now. Have a good day, you two.
Well, guess we sent Charlotte off. Shall we go see how Neverlette's doing? As long as he's not so busy that he doesn't have time to chat anyway.
Inactivity serves no purpose whatsoever.
I can't wait to give her my...
There is no escape! Now you shall perish!
The entrance to the fortress! Ooh, he really is there! So, you really are here, Neuvillette! Paimon didn't think you were going to have free...
Really? Oh, I suppose. In any case, you came at a good time.
Aw, alright, let's... Whoa. So that's... Focalor destroyed... But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to...
For me, Fontani, but so long. In other words,
Focalor must have counted on... Yeah!
it seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know. I have investigated his case, but whether it be... As for the judgment passed, whether it was due...
Guess Focalor... hang on a second. Back when Fontani...
Life as always.
Yeah! Lynette said the...
In truth, those who see it...
Paimon...
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
When we spoke to we guessed that there...
No one... So regarding this specific issue, I was... In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Well, we're going to head top...
What next?
I can finally... It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons. But with something very similar to a god. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before.
I do not know.
You should have the
Remains? Well, that much is true, but I fear I have...
I've been training with... It is only natural for those. Regardless, to live in itself is a blessing.
What do you mean by...
No need...
This third...
Master never mentioned them to. If you're interested, though, I could ask him.
Next time, you.
I do.
That's what she told me.
The remains of... So that's...
All the same as...
And she said...
If she speaks the... I guess that you might already be familiar. That means that...
Like... No. Comparing the Traveler to the... That's what you say.
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind...
Alright.
Yes.
But...
I suppose that would be the mystery. I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes, life flows... And what ultimate...
Ha!